Hello and welcome. So today in this video we will be doing the Day-17 challenge of Advent of Cyber 2025. So this challenge is all about the CyberChef, which is a tool that help us in decoding, encoding and more stuff like that. So let's just move to the story. So the story we have is that the Mexican got kidnapped by the King Melchior and locked in a high-tech castle. And the fact is that the castle has 5 super strong digital locks. But the problem with that is that each of the lock requires some specific decoding technique to bypass. So we need to bypass all of these locks and to get out the Mexican out of the castle. So the learning objective we have is right here. As you can see, we will learn the basics of encoding and decoding, and we will also learn a free tool called CyberChef. As you have already heard about it, we have discussed this in the previous challenge. We have discussed this tool in one of the previous challenges, so you might be familiar with this tool. And after that we will also talk about how to find hidden information on website by checking HTTP headers. So let's just start this thing and this target machine as well, and then let's just click on this so that we can move to the task 2. So in task 2, first of all, we will discuss some important concept, which is encoding and decoding. We will discuss the difference between encoding and decoding. So what actually encoding is? So encoding is basically a technique to change our message that is readable by human into some other letter or stuff that is readable by computer or servers. And right here in the security row, as you can see, the fact about encoding is that it does not provide any security. It just change the text from one form to another, and anyone can change it back to the original text. And then let's just talk about the encryption. So encryption is basically it takes the original text and make it like totally gibberish and way too complex so that a normal human cannot understand what this is, and it cannot be easily decrypted. So if you want to see the original text, you will need a special key like password or something to convert it back to the original text, right? And right here, as you can see, this does provide security. And after that we have the CyberChef. So we have already talked about the CyberChef in so many challenges. Let me just give you a quick overview about this. So in the interface of CyberChef, there are like 4 different stuff. One is what we call the operation, and another is the recipe. Next one we have the input, and the another one is output. So number 1, in the operation we have all of the repository of available operation, and we have like 300 plus operation like different kind of encoding technique, encryption technique. These are all itself are a small tool. So this is what we call operation, different operation, right? If we scroll down, you can see this is the operations area where we select a specific operation. These are all the operations are also divided by category, like data format, or by encryption, or by encoding, and also by language. You can see all of these. And then we have the recipe section right here. As you can see, it's just in the center. So in recipe here, basically we added multiple operation and make a chain of operation we add multiple operation. And then right here you can see this is where we put our data. And next we have the output section where we see our result after we apply the operation and drag it over here in the recipe. If we add one operation, it will also work. If we add multiple operation, it will become a chain of operation, and we will see the final result in the output. So you have to click the CyberChef tool by clicking here, and you will just copy this text and paste it right here. And after that you will come here in the search bar and you will search for base64, and you will drag base64 by clicking it and dragging it over here in the recipe section. So it will just auto run the operation on this text, and we can see the base64 string right here, and then we can see the base64 form of this input, right? And then we have the inspection web pages. So what this is about, so modern browser like Chrome, Firefox, Edge, Opera and so many other, they let us to see the behind the scene of web pages, like what exactly is going on, the network request it makes to the server, and how it talks exactly to the server, web server, and also the source code, headers, cookies and more different stuff, right? So if you want to open the developer tool, we can just simply press the F12 key and it will just automatically open the developer tool for us, right? So when you open the developer tool, you will see tons of different tab right here. So yeah, we can just click on this as we have covered all this. Now we can move to the task 3. Let's just click over here and go to task 3. Alright, so now we will just break the first lock. So what we will do is to let me just close this and open Firefox, and we can just copy this URL, and once the Firefox open, I'll just paste this, and after that I am going to press enter. Right here as you can see the web portal. Let me just make it big so you can see it more clearly. So we are trying to break the first lock, so let me just click on this and we can just start it. So we need to check out the header section once we open the developer tool, but before that we need to find the guard name. Right here we can see some name, but let's also check the cookie so that we can confirm that if this is the guard name or no. So let me just open this. 1 second, let me just make this on the right so that we can analyze it more better. Yeah, much better. So right here I have opened the developer tool and then I clicked on the network and we can see a request. Once you click on this, we can just come here to the header section. Alright, so first of all we need to find out the guard name. So right here as you can see this cotton tail, this might be a hint of the guard name. And if we click on the bash over here without inputting anything in the fields, we see a hint like this will decode to cotton tail. So I guess the name of the guard is cotton tail. So whatever the guard name is, it will be our username. So yeah, we do know that the username is cotton tail. So let me just copy this, paste it over here, and now what to find the password. So let's just go to inspect and then we will click over here network and let's just reload it. Make sure to remember this name. Okay, let's click on one of these. We need to refresh it again, so we will click on this level 1, and then right here as we can see the X magic question is what is the password for this level. So we need to copy this text right here, and then let me copy it, and now we can just move to the CyberChef, and after that what we need to do is to search base 64 over here, and we will drag this thing to base 64. Yeah, we will drag this and we can see a base 64 string. Now let's just copy this, ask this guy to take this and tell us the password. Now we can see this is the password, but it's decoded, we can't actually see. So what we are going to do now is let's just click on this debugger tab, and now this static, and after that in the .js. So we are trying out the password login logic. So right here as you can see this level 1 logic, it's right here. So what this line means is this thing right here actually mean it will just encode the password to base 64, and this just store the encoded password which is stored on the server. So what this means is this card give us the encoded password, and now we need to decode it actually. So let's just copy this and go back to CyberChef, paste it over here, and we need to remove this and drag this one right here. So let me just this one. So now we can see the password is this. Let's just try out if this one is the correct or no. So let me just enter it and click on this. Okay, as you can see we got some password right here, but again it's a base 64 encoded text. So we will just copy this password, copy this and remove this one and paste the password just here. Now we can see the actual password. So let's just copy this, paste over here and click on this. As you can see we got our password. So I just entered this password right here, and what we are going to do next is actually we will not use the name exactly as this. Instead we will convert this into base 64, and after that we can just use this. So let me just delete this one and drag this base 64 into the recipe, and boom, we got our base 64 form of this text. So let's just paste it here and then click on this, and we have finally found the password and username. Let's just answer this as well. So what is the password for the first log? So it was I am so fluffy. and now we can just move to the task 4. We will now just break the second lock. Now let's just click on this and we can just start this. So first of all, we will just copy this thing and come to this, paste over here to get the base64 form of this username. Actually not this, but this is the username. So let me just copy this, paste it here, and then we got the base64 form. So let me just paste here, and now what we are going to do is we will find the password. So for that, let me just open the inspection, go to network, and let's just refresh this so we can see the request. So right here we will click on this, and let me just drag this up here. So now that there is no any magic question, let's just copy this, and we need to convert this into base64 form so that we can just ask this guy to answer our question. This guy just understand the base64 language. So let me just quickly copy this, paste it here, and yeah, let me just copy this as well. And now let's ask this guy to if he changed the password or no. So he gave us some random text. What we are going to do is to find out the login logic, and we can then understand what we will do after that. So for that, we will click on this and then this, and let me drag it here so that you can see it clearly. Right here, as you can see, this is the logic for the log2, right? So let's just understand this one. So this thing, this right here, what this means is it will just encode the password to base64, not one time but twice, right? Like it will just first convert the password to base64 form, and then it will again use the base64 operator to convert that base64 output. So let's just copy this, and we need to apply twice the base64 operator. So let's just paste it here, and let me delete this and drag this one. Now this is one time. So what we will do is, we know that this is the password, but we need to apply the base64 operator again. So I just clicked on this and I pasted this, and we got this, and now we need to reconvert it again to base64 using this same operator. So I just copy this, paste it here, and yeah, we got our passwords. So let's copy this and check it out if this is the correct or no. Let me paste it here, click bash, and after finding this password right here, I told you how you can find this. We just put the password over here, and the username, we converted this thing into the base64, and after that you will just click on the bash and you will just be done with this room as well. So let's just answer this room as well. So basically the password we found is this. So let's just click on check, and we can just move to the another task. Now we need to find the password for the third room. So let's click on this, and first of all, let's just find our username by copying this, and let's go to this, paste it right here, delete all these recipe, and paste this thing and drag this thing right here. Let's just remove this, and yeah, this is our username. Let's paste it in this username field, and now after this, let's click on the inspect. We can't see any request in this area right here, so we need to refresh this first. After that, we will see. So let's just click on this one, and let me drag it up. Yeah, so what we are going to do now is, so basically this log uses the another operation, which is what we call XOR operation. So what actually XOR is? So in simple term, it's something that compares two input. Like if the inputs are different, it will send the output as 1 or true. And let's say if the inputs are same, it will just output 0, and it means just false, right? You can see the truth table. This is the value of A and B is same, so it just the result is 0, means false. Same for this one, and since these are both are two different, it just their result is true. So this is what the XOR does. So let's say we put some data in the input field in this CyberChef, and then we drag the XOR operator, and it will just ask us some key, right? So when we want to get back the original result, we will also use the same key, otherwise we will not see the original text. Okay, so the X recipe key is CyberChef. So let's just copy this and go here, make it convert to base 64 so that that guy can understand it. Let's just give it to him. We need to wait a little bit so that he can respond. So right here, as you can see, this guy just responded. What we are going to do is to just find out the login logic for the level 3. For that we will go to debugger and click on this, and we will try to find the log3 login logic. So right here you can see this, the selected text. This is basically the log3 login logic. So the first line just said that the password we will use to enter over here is XOR with the key. Remember what I said, if we XOR any text, like I type here and drag the XOR, it will just give us some output, right? So if we want back this output, we will again drag the XOR operator, and it will then ask a key that we use in the first XOR so that it can give this answer, right? And this second line just tell us that the password is also then encoded to base 64. So to find out the password exactly, first we will do is to copy this thing, and first we will decode this from base 64, and after that we will use the XOR operator on the output we get. So let me just copy this, come over here, paste it, and let's just remove this. So basically we need to drag this guy. Now what we need to search for XOR operator, right? So let's just drag this into the recipe, and you can see, as I told you, it will now ask for the key. So the key we have is, let me just show you, this is the key, right? You can see this is the XOR recipe key. So let me just copy this, paste it here, and well, we also need to change this thing into we need to change the hex to either this one or this one. So let's just select this one. Okay, wait, so the base 64 encoded password that this guy gave us is actually wrong, so we need to ask him again. So for that, let's just delete this and write here password please, so that he can understand what we want. Let me just search again base 64 and give it to this guy. So right here, as you can see, I pasted mistakenly 2 times, and this guy just gave us another response. Let's just copy this and convert it and decode this. So paste over here, and as I told you earlier, we use the XOR. So let me just copy this, paste here. Let's delete this one and drag this one, right? As you can see, we have got the password. So let's just copy this password and put it in the input. And now after that, we will just use the XOR operation on this. So let's also drag this into recipe, use the key CyberChef. Let me just enter this, and we need to change this into this one, right? Now as you can see, we got our password, which is Bugs Bunny. Copy this and come over here, paste it, click on bash. Yeah, as you can see, we also broke this one. Let's answer the question as well so that we can move to the another task. So let's just start the log 4 now. So we know this is the username. We will convert this into base 64 later after we find the password. Before doing this, let's just click here and type password please. Type base 64 so that it can convert into base 64. Now let's just drag this one to the recipe, get this one, and we can just ask this guy to find us the password. So we got this thing. Let's just copy this and give it to the CyberChef again. Let me copy this, paste it in the input, and we actually need to delete this one and paste this one. So yeah, we got our password. Now actually this is not our password. This right here actually is a MD5 hash. So what I mean by MD5 hash is that, as you can see over here, is that MD5 actually mean message digest algorithm 5. It's a cryptographic function. How it works is, it takes the input and it then produces a fixed size output, right? And it is only one way, like we can't actually reverse it. But the thing is, as I said, it's one way and we cannot reverse it. So what if someone already has computed and stored the hashes for the common password, Well, for that we have this website right here. It has like billions of hashes for common password. So we will go over here. Let me click on this, and yeah, we will just paste that MD5 hash over here, and it will just give us the plain text. So let me copy and paste it right here. We also need to fill the captcha, and let's just crack the password. So as you can see in the result, we got our password. Let's just copy this and paste it here. Now we also need to convert this into base 64. Copy this, go here and paste it in the input. Let's delete this one and drag this one. Let's just copy the username as well and paste it in the user form. Now let's just click on the bash. Yep, we just completed this one as well. So the password was, let me just copy it again and paste it here. Now we can just move to the final log. Let's just also click on this. So this one seems hard as they have titled here. Let's just click on this. We will see what happens. So first of all, we will just copy the username and find the base 64. Let me paste it here, and yeah, this is the username. Let's just copy this, and after that we will just type password please, so that he can give us the password. Let's copy this and ask this guy to give us password. Now let's just go to CyberChef again so that we can understand what this thing is. Let me just copy this and go here, paste it, and we need to now remove this operator and drag this one. So first let's copy this and paste it here so that we don't lose it. Now that we got this password, what we will do next is let's just click on the inspect, and then we will go to the network and let's just refresh this. Click on this one and let me drag this. We were trying to find the recipe ID. So right here, as you can see, our ID is R1, and in this table you can also see the recipe ID 1. Reverse logic means that we will first use from base 64, and after that we will use the reverse operator, and after it we will use the ROT13, right? So let's just use the base 64 first. Let me remove all this. This was the password we got. So first base 64 from, and after that we will use the reverse operator, and then what we will do is we will use this ROT13 operator, and finally we got the output, and this is our password. So let's just copy this and we can just paste it here, and make sure, keep in mind, this R1 might be different for you. So if this is R2, you will follow this reverse logic, and if it's R3 you will follow this, and for 4 you will follow this. So let me just paste the password here and click on this, and now let me just also paste the password here. And since we completed all of the logs, we also got the final flag. So let's just copy this as well, and we can just click on this one. Now let's just move to the last task. So this just tell us that finally we broke all of the logs, and Maxkitty is now out from the castle. So this is what it means. So just click on this and this so that we can complete the room. I hope you like this video and understand everything. I will see you in the next video.